For 3,000 years, the beacon had sung its song across the void. The elders of Kepler Prime had built it in the final days of their civilization, pouring their accumulated wisdom into crystalline matrices that would outlast their dying star. It was their gift to the cosmos, a repository of knowledge, philosophy, and culture, waiting for someone, anyone, worthy enough to receive it. Species after species had detected the signal. The warlike Draconis had tried to weaponize it. The merchant vegan consortium had attempted to sell access to it. The scholarly Arcturians had spent centuries analyzing its mathematical beauty but declared the philosophical content too complex for practical application. None had been deemed worthy. The beacon's ancient AI had rejected them all, their civilizations too young, too violent, too consumed with material concerns to handle the profound truths within. But on a small blue planet in an unremarkable corner of the galaxy, something different stirred. Dr. Sarah Martinez was pulling a double shift at SETI when the signal came through. Not the usual pattern, this was different. Structured. Intentional. Her hands shook as she ran the preliminary analysis. "Tom," she called to her colleague. "You need to see this." Within hours, the message was clear: coordinates, mathematical constants, and what appeared to be a test. The first question arrived as pure mathematics, then evolved into physics, then philosophy. Questions about consciousness, mortality, the nature of suffering. Questions that had no clear answers. Earth's greatest minds gathered virtually, physicists from CERN, philosophers from Oxford, poets from Sao Paulo, monks from Tibet, indigenous elders from Australia. They worked in shifts, around the clock, humanity's collective wisdom focused on this cosmic examination. Other species across the galaxy detected the exchange and watched with amusement. The humans, they laughed. The young ones who've barely left their solar system think they can pass the beacon's test. The questions grew harder. The beacon probed deeper into concepts of ethics, existence, love, loss, and the meaning of consciousness itself. Questions that the greatest galactic civilizations had struggled with for millennia. But humanity had something different. They answered with stories. When asked about suffering, they didn't provide clinical analyses like the Arcturians. Instead, they sent poetry, Maya Angelou speaking of rising after being broken, Rumi writing about being wounded by love's arrow. When questioned about consciousness, they didn't offer technical specifications like the machine races. They sent music, Bach's profound mathematics made beautiful, a child's lullaby carrying love across generations. For mortality, they sent videos of an elderly Japanese man teaching his grandson to fold paper cranes, his weathered hands gentle and patient. For courage, they transmitted footage of a firefighter running into a burning building, a teenager standing up to bullies, a woman speaking truth to power. The beacon's ancient AI paused. These weren't the cold, logical responses it had received from other species. These were messy, emotional, deeply personal answers that somehow contained more wisdom than millennia of scholarly discourse. "Tell us about evil," the beacon asked. Humanity responded with the story of a Holocaust survivor who forgave his captors, of communities rebuilding after natural disasters, of people choosing compassion in the face of hatred. They acknowledged the darkness but emphasized the light that pushes back against it. "Why do you create?" They sent the cave paintings of Lascaux alongside the Hubble telescope's images of distant galaxies. Beethoven composing while deaf. Children drawing pictures of their families with crayons. The urge to make meaning from chaos, to leave something beautiful behind. The galaxy held its breath as the beacon processed these responses for 3 days. Then, for the first time in 3,000 years, the ancient device opened its core vaults. "Welcome," it said, "to the galactic community. We have much to learn from each other." Across the stars, older civilizations stared in disbelief. The young humans, barely crawling out of their gravity well, had done what they could not. They had answered with their hearts.